and welcome to X Talk, a show where we sit down with your favorite artists, entertainers, and content creators to talk explicitly about all things extravagant. My name is Markus X, and today I am joined by the amazing David Brandyn. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Marcus. What's going on?
Everything and nothing all at once. What was that movie, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once?
Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Phenomenal movie. Won all those awards. Well deserved. So
Yeah.
good. So fucking good.
Yeah. I feel the vibes.
I feel the vibes too. I'm so happy that I'm on the X podcast. You know, I love anything involving X's. Most likely, usually 3 of them. It's great. So this is the perfect podcast for me. When you asked me, I was like, yeah, why wouldn't I do this podcast? This is perfect.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait to get into all of the things with you. Thank you for being here with us today. Just to kick it off, could you tell people maybe who don't know who David Brandyn is, a little bit about yourself, what you do creatively, where you come from, all of the good stuff?
Sure. Okay, so let's do long story short.
Let's do long story long. Shit, we got time.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see what happens. All right. So, little David Brandyn. I wasn't David Brandyn yet. I was just David. Was out here doing his thing. I'm around 18, 19 years old, and I don't know really what I want to do with my life. I know I'm artistic. I know I'm creative, but I don't know what I want to do with that. My best friend at the time had me in the ballroom scene, so I was like walking balls and like doing that whole thing, which was super fun and really important for like my foundation. So I was doing that, and at the same time, he was working at a sexual health agency, just basically passing out condoms at this mini ball on. It was this mini ball in Harlem called the Clubhouse. It was every Wednesday, and we would just go there and pass out condoms. So I was working for this nonprofit agency, passing out condoms, talking to people about sexual health, and like kind of getting really interested in it. That led me to take it pretty seriously, get a job full-time teaching sexual health. And I have been doing that for almost 20 years now. However, in the midst of it, I was also doing other creative things like writing and acting and doing all these other things. So I did some web series. I wrote on some shows, ended up moving to Los Angeles to write. I wrote on a Disney show almost 2.5 years ago called Kindergarten the Musical, very different from the content I make right now. And when Kindergarten the Musical was going on, the writer's strike happened, right? So my job had already ended, but I couldn't get another job because all the jobs were gone. And in that time, I was like, okay, well, what do? I need to be creative. So I went back to my sexual health stuff and started making content around sexual health. And that took off more than anything that I had done, right? So doing that kind of let me know that that was always my calling. Like I had all these other big ambitions. I want to be this big actor, this big writer, da. But the whole time I was like doing sexual health as a second job when it should have been my first. Mm-hmm. So I have now made it my first job, in which I have a full-time job at the LGBT Center in LA teaching sexual health. But on the side, as you know, I make content around sexual health. And in doing it, I still get to be extremely creative. So I still get to write everything. I get to act in everything. I get to do all the things that I've always wanted to do just under this sexual health umbrella. And yeah, that's where I ended up, and that's what I do.
Okay, well, there is a lot to unpack there. You threw me a good few balls there just now. So let's take it back to, where did you grow up? Let's start there.
Sure. So I grew up in White Plains, New York, which is 20-30 minutes above the Bronx, in Westchester County. I grew up there, and then I moved to the city when I was 18 to go to college and walk balls and stuff like that.
Okay. And then when did you move out to LA?
I moved to LA when I was 31, which was, I moved here in 2015.
Okay.
2015. Yeah, so I just hit my 10-year anniversary.
Okay. Well, congratulations. You've survived so far.
Baby. Oh, I didn't know if I was going to make it.
But also like New York too is like, it's kind of like a tricky place to navigate as well. So like you've done it in 2 different places, but 2 maybe more difficult places to thrive in as well, right?
Yeah, I feel that. I think LA was different, obviously, because now I'm moving away from home. Like before I had a cushion. Like if I fucked up, like I could always go to my parents' house, and just live there. But out here, like I can't just, if I go back, I got to go all the way back to New York, so it was very different. Very hard city to navigate. But once you do figure it out, it's amazing.
Hmm. And were you doing, so now let's dive into ballroom. So you were doing that out in New York or you were doing that in LA?
I was doing that in New York. So I joined the
Okay.
ballroom scene when I was 18, and then competed until I was about like 30, like 30 off and on. I
Mm,
wasn't the heaviest hitter. I wasn't at every ball, but I did walk and compete and join houses and um, do a lot for the ballroom community, even outside of just walking balls. I feel like I've, through my jobs and through my work, uh, put ballroom kind of first. That's kind of now why I lead this Butch Queen Advice initiative, this the series. It does start with Butch Queens. It does kind of start with ballroom for me. It always comes back to
mhm.
that. So, um, yeah, I feel like I've left a nice little impact on the ballroom scene.
Okay, so it was, the category was Butch Queen
Ah,
realness.
no, 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 I did not walk with realness. I wanted to, but no, I was too gay. You gotta be a masculine looking to walk
Uh-huh.
realness. I was never that masculine looking. So
Uh,
I walked face, and I walked face with performance, and I vogued sometimes when nobody was watching. Yeah.
okay. Okay. And so, okay. So I'm trying to put the picture together here. So when in all of this, or when you were growing up, did you have like, do you identify as gay then? Or like how would you identify sexually?
I'm pretty gay. I'm pretty
Okay.
gay, but how nasty could we get on the show? I'm sure
This
we
is
can go
X
there, right?
talk. You can be as
That's what I
nasty as
thought.
you
Okay.
want.
So I'm very gay, like um, very male attracted. However, as I get older, I realize that I can be attracted to different things, and I can have sex with different things.
Yeah.
That sounds so
Yeah.
bad, but I
Yeah.
can. So like, I think I actually I feel like we have many sexual awakenings. We always have one, as a teenager. You see your
Hmm.
first guy or girl or whoever you like, and your booty hole jumps for them.
Right.
But as a teenager, but I feel like in my 20s I had another sexual awakening. I discovered this, and then in my 30s I had a different one, right? So around 35, I had another sexual awakening where I was just having sex with folks that I had never had sex with before, different
Mm.
body types, no shade, different races, ethnicities, like just really stepping out of honestly the comfort zone of truly only having sex with other Black gay men.
Uh-huh.
I just stepped out of that, right? And I liked it. And in doing so, I was like, well, if I could have sex with this person now and that person, could I have sex with a female identified person?
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. Why not? Why
The
not?
world
So
opened up for you, and when the world opened up for you, the legs of the world opened up for you.
the legs of the world split like the Red Sea. Call me
Ah.
Moses, the Butch Queen, because it was open. It was
Uh-huh.
open. And one more thing I'll say about that: there was a time where I was in a dark room. I was in this dark room. For those who don't know, I'm sure your audience knows. In a dark room, people are fucking and doing all kinds of nasty shit. And I was in
Yeah.
this dark room, and I'm doing my thing, fucking somebody. And next to me was a guy and his girlfriend, and he's fucking the shit out of this woman. And normally women are not found in a dark room. Female
Huh.
identified folks are not found in dark rooms. But this woman was, and he was fucking the shit out of her. Ah, ah, ah. She was going off. And I was like, whoa. I was like, wow. And I kept thinking, I was like, I wonder if I wonder if she asked me to fuck her, would I? And I kept saying, yes. Yes, I would.
Yeah.
Why not? My dick's already hard. She's right there. She's making
Yeah.
all the sounds.
You just
I'm
got to
into
move
it.
over and just slide in.
Just slide it. I mean, with consent, I'll ask her. I'll be
Yeah.
like, tap
Yeah.
tap. Can I
Yeah.
slide? Can I slide? Can
Yeah.
I move him? Can I come in? And that's what it would have been. But yeah, say all that to say, I am open. I'm open.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
but so going back then, so you growing up in New York, you had your first gay, at the time it was a gay awakening then, at first, and you started to come into your sexual identity and exploring, and then you got into ballroom, you said 18?
Yeah, right. 18.
Okay. Was it a difficult period for you to navigate exploring your sexuality, or was that something that kind of came easy as a part of your path?
I've always been very sexual, like even
Mm,
just as a kid, and honestly, there's a lot of like stuff that I'm not gonna talk about, a lot of trauma that kind of led to that.
sure.
But I definitely have always been pretty sexual. Um, my first sexual experience was my first my first sexual experience, if you know what I mean, was at 12. It was me and this other guy. We were like swimming in a pool, and I liked him, and clearly he liked me, but we weren't allowed to talk about that because you're gay, and that's, bad,
Yeah.
quote unquote, at the time.
Yeah.
And he like grabbed my dick in the pool. So like this is my dick, right? My dick and my balls, and he goes, "Arr!" and he like grabs it and like like cockball torture to me.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, this is what? Like, what are you doing? But also, you're touching my dick. What is going on? So I said, David, what you? Baby, call me Jasmine. Call me Jasmine. So what I do, I grab that man's dick back. So I grab it back. So this would go on every Tuesday. We would swim, and every Tuesday we would do this dick grab fight thing, right? Every Tuesday.
Yeah.
But then as the months, and I promise you, months. This was months. As the months went on, the touches would get just a little softer, just a little softer, until it was just straight caressing and jerking and tugging. And also we were the only two guys. It was a group of guys, and we were the only two guys in that group of this after school program that could swim in the deep end. So it was just us in the deep end doing this dick grabbing thing. I can't imagine the guys in the shallow end weren't looking over like, what?
What right. Like, what's going on? Why are they so close?
Yeah, what are they always doing?
Yeah.
But when you're a kid, you don't be thinking about that. You just, want to get grabbed.
Yeah.
So that was my first sexual awakening with that guy. That relationship continued for like 5 years of us messing around without speaking about it ever. Yeah.
Okay. So then you got into the ballroom scene, and did that help you further continue to explore like your sexual identity, like meeting other like queer folk out? Or was it something, I mean, you had mentioned that you have just always kind of been a sexual person. So then was it like you were already like well established with like within your identity before ballroom?
I think so. Yeah. So here actually, you just made me think of something I hadn't really thought about before. Going into ballroom, I was always a very sexual person. But now I'm in ballroom. Now I am trying to climb the ranks of this system, right? You're trying to win balls. You have to play the game. There's politics involved. So now I'm more wary about my sexuality, right? I can't just have sex with anyone because, what if I have sex with this guy and he's this person's partner and he chops me at the ball? Like all this stuff, all these politics are coming into play. So I think I did shun it a little bit. When I was in the ballroom scene, at least at first, because I wanted to climb those ranks. That was more important to me, until I think I just was like, okay, I've done enough. Like, it's time for me to show who I really am, and then have another sexual awakening and kind of come out the closet again.
Okay. And when in all of this, because obviously like there's just so much creative energy like in that scene, right? So you mentioned that you had done some writing a few years back as well, and which you've transitioned now into your current project. But when was kind of like the birth, would you say, of like your creativity in the mix with all of this as well? Or focusing on your creativity more intently?
I think it was always there. It's always been that. Like, I always knew I was going to be creative. Growing up, I was more of a musician. I sang and played all these instruments, and I thought I was going to be a music teacher. That's what I went to school for literally 2 months. I dropped out. So it's, that creative thing has always been there. And the sexual thing has always been there. I just never knew I could merge the two. I never knew I could do both. I never knew that would be acceptable. And because normally it's not, and I just had to have the gumption to make it acceptable for me. And just live that, because it's my truth. I love it, and I think it deserves to be showcased.
Yeah. And so you move out to LA, and you're writing for, you said, the show for Disney Channel. What was the show again?
Kindergarten the Musical.
Okay, so you're writing for the show, the writer's strike happens, and you had mentioned that you had gotten into the sexual health work before this writing. Is that correct?
Yeah, way before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so then the strike happens, and then you can, at that point, is that when you started to kind of build out your brand a little bit more as far as expanding and combining the two, the sexual health work and your writing?
Yeah. The writer's strike was happening. I was not in a writer's room. I was dying to do something.
Yeah.
And truthfully, no shade, I had been writing for Disney, right? I'm writing for a kids show, and I loved it. It was great. And those folks were so great. At the same time, I am a very sexual, spicy person. For me to go to work for Disney every single day was stifling me. You know what I'm saying? It was really like clenching
No,
me
you're acting like the motherfucking animators that were drawing the dicks in like the fucking Disney shit back in the day. You act like they don't exist. Some of the Disney motherfuckers be some freaky ass. They might be some of the freakiest. In fact,
they absolutely do. I actually, some of my freakiest friends are still in children's animation. They weren't on my show though. My show was very safe, very chill, and no shade. Like I said, it was great. Those people are so great. I just needed more. I needed to be able to say, you know, shit, motherfucker, damn, pussy, dick, cunt. I need to be able to say those things. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I was being stifled. So all of that led to me. Okay, what do I do creatively? Let me just make this video. And actually, the first video I made wasn't sexual at all. The first three weren't sexual. The first one was how to make your man breakfast in the morning, which was not sexual, but people really liked it. The second one was talking about getting older, like becoming an older queer man. And then the third one was on trans rights, right? So I'm just kind of doing whatever. Then the fourth one was 5 things to avoid on a hookup. That's what established me. That one went viral for me at the time, and made everyone notice me and ask for more. And then I was like, oh, this. Oh, clearly, duh. Like, why didn't I ever think to do this? So
yeah. And so going back a little bit, then when did you? So you were doing the sexual health work back in New York, correct? Okay, and was it like you were doing it for like a job, or how did it come to be in the beginning then?
Yeah, so I was working for the first nonprofit I worked for was called Minority Task Force on AIDS. It is now called Faces in Harlem, New York. And like I said, I got that job because I passed out condoms with my friend, and they would let us into the bowl for free. That's kind of how it started, was me just wanted to go places for free. And then it just evolved from there. And again, since I had been such a sexual person, for me to learn the ins and outs of sex, especially queer sex, which was such a new frontier as far as education goes, because they weren't teaching that, to be learning that from other Black queer folks was so amazing to me. I was being nurtured at such a young age to be a sexual health educator, not even knowing that that's what was happening. But like these people saw me and trained me. A lot of people thank me, and I'm so grateful for this, but a lot of people thank me because they're like, oh, you give me the sex education I never had as a kid. Growing up, you gave me this, you gave me the sex education I never had. And for me, I'm like, wow, I did have it. I actually did have that sex education, and I thought everyone else did too.
Yeah.
But apparently not. They didn't have it. So that makes my job a lot more meaningful now.
Okay. So for listeners then, to jump back into the present again, now that we've covered a good chunk of the past and have tied some of the pieces together to have a better understanding of who you are as a creator and just as a person here existing in the world, let's talk about what you're doing currently a little bit more. So as you mentioned, you have taken your writing and your sexual health experience, your sexual health practice, your sexual health knowledge.
Yeah, all of
like
that.
putting my words together here. So you're taking these things and combining it with your writing. And so now you have created a platform for yourself on social media where you discuss and put together sexual health segments. Is that correct?
Yeah. Pretty much. It's like a combination of, because I'll take it back a little bit. The way that I teach is to meet people where they're at. Right. I think if I'm bringing out big charts and using big words and, being all scientific when I'm talking about sexual health, no one's going to listen to what the fuck I have to say because it's not interesting and they don't need to know those words. Right.
Yeah.
So I try to meet people where they're at, meaning I'm going to talk to them like they're my peers, because guess what? They are. Like, we're all in the same community. We have a certain language. We have a certain way we speak. We have a certain way that we understand each other as queer folks of color. So I use those words, that language, that imagery, those symbols to relate to folks and meet them where they're at. I think it's really important to do that because, again, like, if I'm speaking in tongues, no one's going to understand me. So I think that's the approach that I use. Sorry, I forgot. What was your question? What was I even talking about?
The question just is, I'm just, when I do these, I always like to think about, I try to approach it from a way of like, if nobody has ever heard of you, like nobody
Got
knows
it.
what you do. And so I'm just
Hmm.
trying to build and paint a picture off of, like your past and then bringing it into the present. Like, what do you have going on? So the question was, about currently what you're doing. So with,
That's right.
yep. So with Butch Queen advice and I guess just your social media presence in general, just so that people who are listening can understand, and hopefully it will direct them in your direction to go check out your content as well. But just
Gotcha.
bringing it into the present now and talking a little bit about, kind of what you currently are doing. So I
Okay.
guess to expand on that, then could you, again, for somebody who just has no clue who you are, could you paint us a picture of what they can expect if they find you online?
Sure, sure. Great question. So if you find me online, you're going to find a plethora of things. So you're going to find first and foremost sexual health information. Every week, I try to do at least one video that is a little bit more serious around sexual health, exploring questions that queer folks of color, excuse me, queer men of color have when it comes to our hookups, our sexual health, diseases, viruses, things like that. So you're going to
Mm,
find that. The second thing you're going to find are fun interviews. So this is what I was getting at before. Because I think I need to meet people where they're at, I think people don't always want to be talked at with education. And
sure.
I think a big component of sex education and even absorbing sex education is having a sex positive mindset.
Hmm.
So, what I do to invoke sex positive mindsets is to get people to talk about their sex lives in a way that they talk about the breakfast they had this morning, right? If when I do sexual health, I do sex interviews with folks in order to get them to tell me their shit in a very casual way. And I think
Mm,
the more that we see that, the more we are comfortable talking about sex, the more we're open to our sexual health, right?
yeah.
So you're going to find the sexual health videos, you're going to find the sexual interviews that I'll do, and then just random stuff. Me and my partner, people like stuff like that, so I put stuff out like that. And any events I'm doing or promoting, that's pretty much what you'll find. That's actually a newer component to my page is a lot of event promotion, a lot of queer or vacations for queer folks of color.
Mm.
I'm doing a lot of that too. So if you're looking for a place to go, I'm probably promoting something that's happening in the next month. So just come and check me out.
Okay. Well, this feels like a good time to take our first break. So let's go ahead and jump into that. For this break, I am going to play Face on Purr by yours truly, Marcus X, from my project Heaven's Gate, the deluxe edition. We will be right back with you.
I want it all or nothing. It's been around and round, just take my body go down like. So don't need time for rushing. I race to hear the sounds of tripping pound for pound. Body built for sin, let's begin. Tell me, are you in? Close to skin, taste it now. Sweet like glycerin. Body built for sex, yes I'm blessed. On your knees confess, take your time, invest. Worship me, savor every breath. Face to the base on purr, face like face to the base on purr. Hit it, make the bass go purr. Face like face to the base on purr. Face to the base on purr. Face like face to the base on purr. Hit it, make the bass go purr. Face like face to the base on purr. Take me for a ride every night. Face on purr.
All right, welcome back. We are here with David Brandyn discussing all of the happenings. So I have a question, and I'm curious your opinion. Just since you're
Uh
doing
huh.
this work with sexual health and education, why do you think so many people, as you mentioned before, you were kind of surprised that people don't have the information, right? Why do you think that is?
I think a blanket statement: the world hates sex.
Yeah.
The world just hates sex. They hate it. They want it to be a certain way that it's not. They want it to be stagnant when it's fluid. They want it to be fixed when it is clearly not. It is always moving and changing. And the more movement and change that we make to it, the more they hate it because it gets away from, their agenda when it comes to sex. So
Mm,
I think it just starts there and it trickles down to our communities where we don't get what we need because they don't want us to have it.
yeah.
No.
Yeah. Would you say, I mean, and not even to like, we don't have to get like too deep into it. I just have opinions myself and I'm just curious your thought. Like, do you think that like the demonization of sex and sexual energy, like, do you think a lot of it, the root is like organized religion as well? Like, just like these like puritanical like belief systems, like mindsets that like people are like holding on to, you know, and really, I'm trying to like watch my words here. It's like a hot button topic, but yeah, I guess let's just leave it there. Would you say that could be a part of it as well?
Absolutely, yeah. Religion plays a huge role in it. I think it is not the only, it is not the sole culprit, but it is used. It's always it always falls back on that, right? Anytime you ask somebody an excuse why they feel, you know, sex is wrong, they say all these excuses, and then the last one is always, it's in the Bible. It just always comes down to that, because that to them is the final answer. And unfortunately, not everyone is a Christian. Also, even those that are Christian don't follow all the quote unquote rules of the Bible. So it's not fair to use that. And I think it is definitely an excuse that people just fall back on.
No, totally. It's really interesting as well, though, because everybody is fucking, right? Even if they're like, you know, everybody is, well, maybe not everybody's fucking, but like, it's a natural part of who we are, right?
Yeah.
And so you take things like, you know, sex or whatever it is, and like the powers that be, it's like, oh, this is bad. Don't do that natural thing that's a part of who you are as a person, you know?
Yeah.
It's very interesting, but we don't have to go too deep down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, no, it is interesting. It really sucks. It really sucks. And with also without going too deep, it sucks that sometimes it was feeling like for the past 5 years that we were making a lot of progress when it came to that. And then literally in the past 2 months, it is all going to shit. So it is a very interesting time without going too deep.
What a time to be alive, huh?
Yeah.
But the world needs us, people who are living and standing in their truth and who are brave enough to do that. And even if people aren't brave enough to do that quite yet, you know, hopefully we're able to help inspire folks out there to stand in their power and to be able to shine their light in whatever way that can be shined on the world, because it's really important, especially right now. And that's a big reason why I started this project in general, is to talk to other queer creators and to just sit down and like shoot the shit and chop it up, you know, and just really spotlight people and just be as visible as possible, because it's so important, especially right now with everything that's happening here in the US. No, I really appreciate what you're doing. And it's really cool as well to see people find success in their endeavors, whatever that might look like. So I'm excited to see what's coming next for you. Before we get into your plans or your vision for what's next for you, I do want to talk a little bit about your relationship, because as you mentioned as well, with your social media, you also have, outside of, you know, everything that you're doing creatively with the sexual health education, you also have, you know, a somewhat public relationship as well.
It's pretty out there.
Have you always been kind of, you know, very like public, like with your relationships, or like how did it come to be with this relationship?
You know what? Honestly, I don't think I am young enough to have been this public in the past. And what I mean by that is I didn't have the social media capabilities in my previous relationships to be that public. Like I'm 41, right? So like I think, like I didn't have Facebook to put my boyfriend on it.
Right.
Like I didn't have that shit. So like, so now that I have it, right, I have Instagram or whatever. I feel compelled to showcase my relationship because I love it. I think it's great. It inspires people. And I think I've always wanted to be quite, not necessarily public or famous, but like open, just like, this is who I am. Like, I don't know. I like letting people know who I am, even if it disgusts them. I love it.
I mean, fuck it. Because it's just like, even with those people who it might disgust or whatever, like there are also people who you don't even know, like who it touches, like who needs to see that, you know?
Yeah.
Especially like queer Black love as well.
Yeah,
like
yeah, it's
with
needed. We
Black
need to see
men
more of it.
specifically, you know,
Yeah.
like not to
Mm-hmm.
like create hierarchies or anything like that, but it is something that's important for the world to see, like a loving, tender relationship, you know,
Yeah,
between
yeah.
men
I
of
didn't see
color.
it. I didn't see
Yeah.
it growing up. So like, I don't know. It feels weird for me. You know, I respect anyone that does, but it feels weird for me to hide that because
Mm.
I, again, I'm a pretty open person, and I just want other people to see it.
Yeah. Well, I definitely was like because I don't even know how long I've been following you now, but it's been a while. And
Yeah, we've found it's 5 years.
yeah, it's been a minute. I like honestly like
Hmm.
sometimes it's like you just don't even know like how you come across people, and then you're just like, I know this person, but you like fully have never met before. It's like one of
Yeah,
those situations. I'm just used to seeing you online, you know? So
yeah.
I I have
It's funny.
seen oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's funny. You're absolutely right because you had hit me up about the show. I was like, oh great, and then I was like, I wonder like, oh yeah, I used to like chat with this guy. So I'm like scrolling back. I'm like, I used to talk to him all the time, like 5 years
Yeah.
ago. It's
Yeah.
so funny. It's so
Yeah.
funny. Yeah.
Oh, well, what I was going to say is with your public relationship, if, you know, somebody who's listening right now, once you go check out David, you're going to see David Brandyn, you're going to see these two beautiful men, a man down on his knee proposing. You're going to see a beautiful man. What was he? He was like painting naked or something.
Yes, he
You're,
was painting naked. I was
uh-huh.
sipping paint.
You're going to see an eHarmony recent partnership, collaboration, like talking about
Yep.
love, like all of this. So y'all are
Yeah.
really out here in these streets.
Yeah, yeah. We are out here in these streets, pretty public people. Cause you know what, honestly, we try to get that public people money. You know what I'm saying? These people out
Huh.
here getting
Huh.
cash.
Huh.
Fund us. Like put some money in my pocket. Like
That
I want to
part.
get paid.
Yeah, that part.
Yeah, that's why we're out here, to be honest, you know.
Huh. Well, how long have you guys been together for now?
We have been together since we started talking in 2016. We
Mm.
officially got together in 2017. To 2017 to 2019, took a year off. We were still like talking, and then got back together during the pandemic, and it's been that since then. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Mm. Okay, and then are you, if I can ask, have you now been married? Like I know we saw the proposal online, and then has
Yes.
there? Okay, okay, so this
Yeah.
is your
So
husband.
wait, no. So I was just saying, yes, I know what you're talking about. No, so we're not married yet. So
Okay.
we got engaged 2 years ago. Here's my ring right here. We got engaged 2 years ago, which was great. And then, like I said, that writer strike thing happened, and
Yeah.
we were about to like really plan this wedding. And when that happened, I was just like, financially, it's not worth it. To put all this money into something that is truly just going to drain me and my partner right now. It wasn't
Yeah.
a smart move, so we postponed everything until actually in May. I'm getting married in May. That's the plan. We're wrapping up all the details now, and we will be officially married in May. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, here we are. Congratulations.
Thank you. Very excited. Very
Yes.
excited.
Yes. Now shifting back over to you and you alone, since we're here to talk about you, could you tell us about, you know, future plans or what you're kind of hoping to do next with everything that you're working on?
Yeah, so a couple things I want to, as I mentioned to you earlier, Marcus. So I'm starting a podcast myself.
Mm.
I'm going to keep most of those details under wraps right now because I'm still working them out.
Because
But
bitches like to steal. Bitches steal ideas. Yeah, don't tell anybody until it's out. Because you'll see somebody out here doing the same thing that you thought that you were about to do.
I mean, honestly, if they want to, go for it. Because no shade, like, do it. Like, you are not gonna do it like me. And actually, that is the best part of it. You're not gonna do it like me. You're gonna do it
Yeah.
like you. So it's gonna be good for you. It's not gonna be me. It's gonna be you.
Yeah.
So I encourage it. And I'm gonna get to your question, but there is a content creator I have noticed recently that does very similar things as me. And
Mm.
they follow me, and I can't help but think I inspired that. And do I hate it? No, they're good at it, and I like it, and I probably will work with them. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
like, do your thing.
Yeah.
But as far as projects, so my podcast is coming out. Just look for that in the next couple of months. I will continue to make content, so I'll still be on mainly Instagram. I'm on TikTok too, but TikTok is iffy with me. They really hate sex over there. So
for real, I was surprised. Once I started this podcast, I was like, okay, like let me finally do TikTok, and I was like, oh, like I can't say anything. Like everything has to be censored. I was shocked.
Yeah,
and then I was like, fuck TikTok. I'm getting back off of this bitch.
Instagram is really wild too with the censorship, but TikTok really, they take it. Like I can't have my shirt off on TikTok.
Yeah.
They think I'm a woman and they think I have breasts.
Well, after they would get my ass too. After 2020, when everybody was doing that that Doja Cat fucking they shut that shit down. They said absolutely not on my watch.
Enough is enough.
Yeah, no nipples, nothing. Because y'all was wilding on TikTok back in 2020.
Yeah.
What was that song called?
Yeah, I don't remember. I'm seeing the videos though.
Yes, when they would do like they would flip the switch. Yes, and then their dick would be they'd be like sucking dick or something like.
Yes, those were good times. Good times.
Now I'm curious though with what you were saying about like if somebody were to steal your idea and like you support it, would it be different if? And I don't know who the person is who you said is doing similar content now, but like. Would it be different if it was like a white content creator, like even with like a bigger audience and like they were like going viral off of like the shit that you had kind of kicked off? Would that be a different story?
Yes.
Yeah. I saw, do you know, what is the girl's name who she's been like super viral recently? And she does like the videos where it's like, welcome to Caltexico. And then she'll do like in the year 29. Do you know who I'm talking about?
No.
Okay. So I'm pretty sure, I'm like, let me not say that. I don't want to assume her identity. But there's a content creator and she's a black female presenting, I guess is maybe the better way to put it. And she makes these videos and then recently she does them in a very specific way and she'll be like, hi diva, and then like I recently saw a white content creator who like basically just stole her shit and she had commented under it and said like, oh, she said something and the person was like, love you, and I was like wow, interesting.
So the thing is with that is a lot of white folks actually do what I do already and have been doing it before me, right? I didn't necessarily get my style from them, but I see a lot of interviews of, white folks going around saying, what's the freakiest thing you've ever done? That I stole. I definitely stole that. I didn't invent that. You know what I'm saying? I definitely didn't invent that, but I heard a lot of white folks doing it. Latinx folks, like a lot of different people. The difference I think between me and them is the sex education component. A lot of their content, which is fun and really cute, is like, how big is your dick?
Right.
They're like 8 inches. Can I see it?
Right.
And then they look at, and it's like, that's great. But like, I don't do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like I feel like that's great, but it doesn't, as freaky and nasty and disgusting as I want to be, I wanted to have like just a little bit of substance and some grounding to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't do that. So if I saw a white content creator do what I do, maybe I'd be like, actually, yeah, you should do that, because right now I only see them asking how big people's dicks are.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, not to go too deep in that, we can leave that right there where that's at.
Where's that?
Yeah. So with what you've been doing currently, you also do a segment like on your YouTube where you'll have people, like you were saying, like what's the freakiest thing, or like what is that segment called for you on your Instagram?
Yeah, so on my stories, which is just turned out so fun, I'll ask on Tuesdays, what is a freaky confession you have?
Freaky confession.
People will tell me their secrets, and then I'll expose them to the world and tell everybody their secret without telling the name. And then on Friday, I'll ask any freaky questions, and that's more so like hookup culture, sexual health kinds of things. People ask me those kind of questions. Yeah.
Have you ever gotten anything that just shocks you?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. People talking about sex with pets and like, yeah,
like shit that's illegal, like shit that's actually like not okay.
maybe I don't need to know this. Like,
Yeah.
maybe not. Like, sometimes don't tell me stuff because, you know, look, I'm a mandated reporter. I'm gonna have to report your ass. You know, don't
Yeah,
don't tell me
yeah.
nothing too crazy.
Yeah.
But people do. People get out of pocket. They really want people to know. And then also, I think sometimes people are lying. I think sometimes people are just
like trying to put on.
Yeah, I'm like, you didn't do that. Like, no.
There,
please.
you know, there was a girl that I went to school with who I was like friends with at the time. This is a long time ago, maybe like 7th grade, 6th grade. So how old are you then? Like 14, 13? So this girl,
13, 14.
This bitch told me straight up, and then we were done being friends after this because I was like, oh, this is a weird bitch. She told me, she's like, sometimes I put peanut butter on my pussy and let my dog lick it off. And I'm like, okay, like even me being like 13, 14, like I was shook. Like I was like, what the actual fuck? Like why is this bitch telling me this information? You know? Like that's not okay.
So funny. That's not okay. Also that is so common. People really do that. People dead ass do that all the time. I've heard that so many times. I remember actually reading an article in GQ around the age of 14 of this man that was taking a hamburger meat and putting it around his dick so his dog would lick off the hamburger meat. I remember thinking that like, whoa, like people do this wild shit. Wow, sex is so interesting.
Right, and then that's where it all started.
That's where here I am.
That's where, here we are. You have that GQ article to thank for your whole career now.
Yes, thank you, Daddy GQ. Thank you.
Okay, so you have plans for the podcast coming up, and are you just looking to continue to expand like social media presence then as well? Or is there anything else that you could share with us that's coming up for you?
Yeah, I mean, just continue to expand social media presence. I'm going to be moving. That podcast will be on YouTube mainly, so I'll be trying my best to to get more stuff on YouTube, which is just another beast. It's just a lot. It's just so much. But besides that, I'm also planning out. I actually have workshops ready, like in-person sex ed workshops that I would love to do outside of my job. I do those inside of my job right now, but I have my own curriculums that I've been developing that I want to do outside of. I also do content creation workshops, which I have done for certain places around LA, for those that are just looking to make content, learn how to do that. I do content creation consultations for those that want to just spend an hour or two with me and working on their stuff and getting out there. I can help with that. What else? And honestly, that's it. Because I'm also, while I'm doing all of this, I'm also in school. So I'm also doing that, which is a lot. So yeah, directly after this call, I am. So I'm studying, the full degree name is Ethnic Studies, Genders and Sexualities in Communities of Color.
Amazing.
Which is a lot. But I find that in this work, I've never gotten my degree. I never formally studied it. And because I'm talking about sex and very sensitive topics, I feel like I should have some kind of letters by my name just to verify me just a little bit more. I feel like I already have all the credentials. I've been teaching for 20 years, but those little letters actually, they matter. So I'm going to get them.
Would you ever, have you ever thought about doing like maybe in the future as well with everything else with the workshops and everything? Have you ever thought about doing maybe like queer Black sexual health, like retreats?
Yeah. Actually, my partner and I have been talking about that for a little while. That's something that we're definitely going to do. I'll leave it at that. We're definitely going to do that because it's so needed. And that's another thing that I had when I was younger. I used to go on Black gay retreats all the time with this agency in New York. And I feel like that doesn't happen anymore. So we definitely want to bring those back for sure. Yeah, it's a great idea.
Well, lots to look out for. Leading us into the second break, since your old school music, you're not promoting that anymore, right? You had said that you were working on music a long time ago.
Yes. That was a very long time ago. So no beats, no tracks.
Okay. All right. So when we were setting this up, then I had asked you about, maybe if you had any artist friends that you wanted to give a shout out to. Could you lead us into break number 2 here?
Yes. So I would love to introduce my friend Roy Covington. What up, Roy? You're amazing. And this song I truly fell in love with. Everyone enjoy Sweet Nothings.
Sweet Nothings by Roy Covington.
Damn, you smell so good. What's the name of that cologne? And just so enticing, it really turns me on. Whisper and speak nothing in your ear. I got you smirking. We match each other's energy. No, this ain't flirting. Sweet nothing's on mind. Only things to you, baby. Sweet nothing's my heart skips a beat or two lately. Sweet nothing's you're just what I need. You were made for me. With you, I'm complete. Sweet nothing's my mind. Only things to you, baby. Sweet nothing's my heart skips a beat or two. Sweet nothing's you're just what I need. You're made for me. Sweet nothing. Sweet.
All right, that was Roy Covington, Sweet Nothings. So this next segment, you should be kind of familiar with this, because it's sometimes it's similar to some shit that you be getting into too. But this is a segment that I like to call X Marks the Spot. And so this is a segment where listeners of the show will write and ask us questions. Maybe they'll tell us stories. They'll ask for advice sometime. For those of you who are listening, if you would like to be featured on a future episode, the number for that, you can call and leave me a voicemail or send a text message to is 415-448-6630. Are you ready for X Marks the Spot?
Give it to me, baby.
Okay. Somebody asks, any thoughts on opposing stan factions? Are you a stan of any artists?
Oh. Am I a stan of any artist?
And your thoughts on opposing stan factions? So when
What is
when
opposing
these
stan factions?
you're like nigga, I'm too old for this shit. So it's like the Barbs, like Nicki Minaj, like the Barbs versus like Cardi B's Barty gang online. I think the Beehive, Beyonce, like I think her fans be fighting with Rihanna's Navy online.
Yeah, okay. Got it. All right. So Beehive all the way, you know what I'm saying? Definitely Beehive. Not really a stan of anyone else. As far as the opposing factions, I don't think anybody's competing with the Beehive. I don't think the Beehive's fighting with anyone. It's hard to fight that. But I just feel like, look, y'all, to fight between who likes what is wild.
Crazy.
Right?
Insane.
It's wild. We don't have to do this.
No.
Also, you don't have to fight when facts are facts, right?
Ooh.
So if you want to really fight, like, about who's the best singer, who won the most Grammy, look at the awards, look at the crowds, look at the money they're bringing in, and bring the facts. Let's be clear.
Yeah.
Let's be clear. I don't want to have these fights about opinions when there are facts at our fingertips.
Yeah.
Use them.
Yeah.
That's it.
I also love too, like when people get up in like arms about these celebrities online, and it's like, baby, like these bitches are making so much fucking money. Like they truly, like you're fighting over somebody who's making a gazillion times more money than you. Like put that energy into going and making some money.
Yeah.
Because these bitches are making so much money.
Yeah, you just feeding them, which is great. We should feed great art, but also feed yourself. Like all that energy that you're taking can be used on your pockets.
Yes, truly. I don't consider myself, my boyfriend would disagree with me, but I don't consider myself a stan of any artist. There are artists who I enjoy, and who who I support, like I'll buy shit from them. But I wouldn't sell, because I feel like a stan is like when you're like a ride or die, like you're gonna like battle it out about this artist, and like I don't care that much about anybody to be like investing that kind of energy into debating somebody about them, you know?
Right. And not to cut you off, but I agree. I'm also not a stan of Beyonce. I'm just a huge fan. Yeah. Anybody can get canceled for me. Anybody can be denounced. Like I think Ride or Die is a wild title for anyone.
Fully. Ever. Yeah.
Anyone. I don't care if it's your mom. Ain't no ride or die. I'm sorry. Right. Sometimes you gotta die.
Do you think that R. Kelly had stans? You think there's somebody out there battling for him online?
Here's what I think. I think R. Kelly has more stands now than he's ever had. He's had more now than he's ever had. Can I tell you a funny story?
Yeah, please.
I was with one of my. This is actually a double funny story. So I have and I'll actually ask you this too. Who's your problematic fave?
Nicki Minaj.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. That's a great problematic fave.
Yeah.
Nicki Minaj. Mine is Chris Brown. Problematic fave.
Yeah.
Nicki Minaj, Chris Brown, Azalea Banks. These are
all
problematic
of them.
faves.
All of
right?
All of them got dirt on their hands in some way.
They're problematic, but not so problematic that we have to throw them in the garbage.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Then so I asked my friend, he asked me, who's your problematic fave? I said, Chris Brown. Who's your problematic fave? He says, R. Kelly. I said, oh. I said, oh. Well,
you're like looking at him a little different now, huh?
Okay. So that happens, right? So then I'm in a club with a different friend, right? This different friend introduces me to his friend. I ask his friend, who's your problematic fave? This is a guy of a different race. He tells me who it is. I don't remember who it is. I tell him mine is Chris Brown. We have the joke. Then I say, you know what? I asked a friend of mine the other day who his was, and he said R. Kelly. Me and this friend share a laugh. That's ridiculous. That's so funny. I turned to my friend who I came with. I said, who's your problematic fave? He says, R. Kelly.
Insane.
Two of my friends?
Insane.
Two?
Yeah.
So
insane.
Yeah, R. Kelly is stand boots. He ain't going nowhere. Unfortunately.
Do you think that does Diddy have stands, do you think?
Yeah. Yes.
You think?
People love. Yeah, I think people love. I was a huge fan of Diddy growing up. I mean, I think a lot of us were, but being from New York and just being surrounded by bad boy everything growing up in New York, it just made us all stands of Diddy. Like, we love Diddy. But I think when people do terrible, problematic things and the world is against them, other people are like, oh, we have got to stand up. We gotta fight for this man, right? So I think Diddy also probably has more stands than he's ever had. More people writing for him harder than he's ever had because of all the trouble he's in for the terrible things he's done.
Well, this could be like an interesting segue as well. I'm just curious your thoughts because you had mentioned that you're a big fan of Beyonce. Why do you think like this last year, like once Diddy was like really like crumbling and then all that shit came up with like Jay-Z and like people were alleging things. Do you think that people just hate to see like successful Black people? Like, why did all of that come out, do you think? Or like, not even that anything came out, but like, why did that all come to be to now have been like denounced? I think definitely the world hates to see successful Black people, and I think the world just hates to see successful people. Especially that have such a clean record, right? Beyonce is so clean, so fucking clean. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a flaw here, a slip here, or this or that, but there's never been any huge scandal. We can find scandals with pretty much everybody else except Beyonce, right? So anything to tear her down is going to drive the world wild, right? When Beyonce fell during a red light, the world shut down. The world shut down because my girl slipped. She's perfect. She slipped, right? So anything to tear her down, I think people are going to amplify it times 1,000 and really try to bring her down because she seems so perfect. Also, not to talk too long about it, but the world loves to build up a celebrity and then tear them down, right? We saw this with Britney Spears. We see this with so many people that we have loved just to bring them back down again. It's some weird sociological, psychological thing that we do. And it truly needs to, it got to end. Fully. Yeah, I agree. But do you think on any level, is there any part of you that thinks like maybe Jay-Z and Beyonce had something to do with Aaliyah?
With Aaliyah's death?
Yeah. You know about that conspiracy theory?
I don't. What? Why?
There's talk of the town that they had something to do with it, Jay-Z specifically, because him and Dame who was she dating?
Okay, Dame Dash was dating Aaliyah, yeah.
But then Jay-Z she was also seeing Jay-Z apparently beforehand too.
That's a really I've never heard this. I can't imagine why they would want Aaliyah dead because she even her if it was like to prop up Beyonce, was that the same year? Even if it was to prop up Beyonce, they're such different people. Like, I don't think Beyonce was afraid of her, and I don't think Aaliyah was afraid of Beyonce.
Yeah.
There's a clip of them together, like at some MTV Movie Awards, like hanging out, or Beyonce interviews her. That's what it is.
Yeah,
and they seem pretty friendly. So, no, I love conspiracies. I love hearing about them. I don't believe most of them, but that one's wild. No, I never heard that.
Okay, something to go research, maybe.
Maybe.
All right. Somebody says, hello, I am in a somewhat new relationship and have been having some friction with my man because he claims that I'm too possessive and jealous. That's just my man, though. So I want him to be understanding that it's because I actually care about him. What do you think? And also, have you ever been the jealous type?
I am currently the jealous type. Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah. Right? Just because, my relationship is open, but that doesn't mean jealousy goes away. Me and my partner are jealous people, but we just learn how to deal with it. So I think the first thing that, I mean, you may not want to hear this, dear listener or dear caller, but I think the possession is real in your relationship. And I think, this is what I think, how I go by life. I don't think you can possess a man. It is not your man. You can't possess a man.
Yeah.
Like, you cannot possess a man. And in holding him in that possession, he is literally going to run away.
Fully.
He's going to run away because nobody needs to be held that tight. You got to give your man some freedom so he comes back to you. So and that's the best part. If you let someone go and they come back on their own will, because you're not even holding their hand, that's love, baby. That's it. I understand that you holding him tight is because you're showing him love, but you're actually showing him insecurity. You're showing him that I'm afraid that you're not going to come back. You have to let him go so he comes back. Truly, I get the my man mentality. I used to be that way. I'm no longer, because it made me have no man. So I would suggest that you loosen the grip, baby. Loosen the grip.
Yeah. What is that old saying? It's like, if you love a flower, observe it. Don't pick it and try to hold it because it's gonna die. Like, if you try to claim it as your own, like, you have to just observe it and appreciate the beauty of what it is. But then it's like, you can't just be trying to be controlling and possessive of whatever thing it might be.
No.
Yeah, I'm curious before I respond, because you just spoke, I feel like you always speak with such confidence and wisdom, right? Just lived experience, right? Maybe it's to somebody who's listening who might not feel as confident in themselves. What advice would you have for them?
What do I do when I don't feel confident? I often do not feel confident. And I honestly, I don't know if this is advice you hear from somebody else, but I practice a lot. I practice talking to people. I practice my stories. I talk to myself a lot as if I'm talking to someone. And then when it's time to talk to someone, it just comes out because I'm just repeating something I already said to myself.
Yeah.
So I think confidence comes in, and a lot of that is just faking it till I make it, right? I'm kind of just pretending. I am preparing myself for whatever situation I'm going into. That's one thing. The second thing is, nobody gives a fuck. Nobody gives a fuck about you. They really don't. It's so funny, because just as much as you are conscious about your confidence and thinking about yourself, they're doing the same thing. Everyone's thinking about how they're coming off to the next person. So you don't have to worry about what people looking at you. They're actually not. They're
Truly.
not. And I had to realize that no one cares what I'm doing right now. I could flap my wings like a bird and no one's watching because they're all worried about their untied shoes and the pimple they had and the gas they have and all this other stuff.
Yeah, okay. No, yeah, 100%. I learned that lesson, and I feel like you're saying, it's like a constant practice, right? For me, being confident in my body, my Instagram's like a practice in that. Being nude in a non-sexual way around people, so changing in the locker room is a practice of that. Going to the nude beach and getting nude and just being I'm here, you know what I mean? Without it even being a sexual type situation, has really helped me a lot. But I learned that a long time ago, starting to go to the nude beach and being when I remember the first time I ever went to a nude beach, I was oh my God, I had all these nerves built up and I was people are going to be looking at me, you know, what am I going to do? And then it's I got down and took my clothes off and literally nobody gave a fuck at all. Exactly what you're saying. And I was oh, okay, like nobody cares, like at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
uh,
Yeah. Someone even described it to me as being selfish. Like, oh, you think people are looking at you?
yeah, everybody
They're
thinks.
not.
I know, yeah, it's like the main character syndrome, like where people
Yeah.
just are
Yeah.
thinking like they're like the only one, and it's like truly like everybody out here is like thinking about the bills that they have due, how they have to get to the gym because they have an appointment, like, you know, whatever it may be, like their ex that just cheated on, or their girlfriend that just cheated on them. People are thinking like always in like their heads thinking about this shit. um for me to answer the question, what do I think, and have I ever been the jealous type? Yeah, I mean, I can't really add too much more. You put it really beautifully in your response, so I don't think I have much more to add to it. But yeah, I think jealousy is like a natural thing. I think it's just how you handle that, like, because if you're jealous and then you are like responsive along with that before like processing it internally and being able to formulate why you feel the way that you feel and like communicate that to your partner, I think that, you know, sometimes people might lack like that kind of like emotional awareness. So I would
Yeah.
say maybe hone in on that aspect of it and like be like, well, why do I feel jealous right now? Like, why do
Yeah.
I need my man to be next to me at all time? Like, why do I care if like he looks at somebody else? Like, I would like do some like soul searching on that and like really get to like the root of why you feel that way, you know?
Yeah.
And
That's
talk
great
to your
advice.
partner. I feel like everything can be fixed by communication. With like two
Yeah.
open parties that
Yeah.
like come together, like who can communicate, like everything
Yes.
can get fixed. I swear.
Yep. State the
Okay.
problem. State the problem. Yep.
Huh. In a respectful way too.
Yes.
Somebody says, what is inspiring you the most right now?
It's inspiring me the most right now. This class I'm in on gender. Pretty much, yeah. This class on gender, it's just opening my mind up to just different concepts. It's so interesting when you think you know everything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I never thought I knew everything, but I thought I knew a lot, and I'm like, I don't know shit. Like, I don't know
Yeah.
shit. Being a student in being an official student in the subject I've always taught in is a very inspirational experience, and it truly humbles me. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I've been teaching for so long, but to be taught again is just like, girl, you thought you was teaching,
You
but
thought, yeah, you
yeah,
thought.
you thought you have much to learn. So I'm inspired by learning in general and specifically about gender.
Yeah. What's inspiring me the most right now is probably like my lack of, if that makes sense. So like
Mm,
I always feel inspired by like, okay, like I have goals for myself. Like I want to do X, Y, and Z. And I feel like the older I get to, the more that like I don't have the things that I want or that I see for myself, like the more I feel like really lit up and inspired by that. And
mhm.
sometimes too, like bitches that play on your time, like I feel like that inspires me a lot too. You know, especially like because like I work on music and shit, and so like sometimes like I'll be, and especially too like starting the show honestly and like reaching out to different like artists and shit. Like sometimes
Mhm.
people get like egos when they have like a bigger following. Do you know? Have you ever come across that
Yeah.
like at all, like with your time on social media?
I mean, they just don't respond to me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
But like that's
yeah,
a
no,
response in
no.
itself. Do you know? Like if
Yeah,
you saw
yeah.
that somebody saw what you
They
sent
read
them
it.
or something, yeah,
Yeah, they will
yeah.
absolutely read it and
And
just
I'm
not
like,
respond. I'm just
bitch,
like, okay.
yeah, I'll be like,
Yeah.
bitch, you don't even know the fucking half of it. Just watch. I'm about to
Yeah.
fucking stun on you. You know? Like,
Yeah.
that's really like that kind of shit like inspires me too. Cause I'll be like, all right, I got you. Just you wait. Wait and see.
I love that. Like the
Uh
external forces
it's like
of, people.
competitive though.
Yeah, but I think
Yeah.
that could be healthy. That's
Yeah.
healthy rather than you could also be like, these people don't want to work with me and I'm not going to do the show anymore because, these people are acting out. Like, no,
Yeah.
like you're going to take that and say, okay, fuck you. Like, well, I will get bigger and better and you're going to wish you had said yes. You're going to
Exactly.
wish,
Exactly. And I'll be petty too, because I'm like I've experiences like that in the past too. Like if somebody has reached back out to me, I'll be like, I'll ignore them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, bitch,
How'd
you
that
had a
feel?
chance. You had a
Now, how
chance.
that feel?
Huh.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
All right.
Hmm.
Somebody asks, what do you think about body hair?
Yeah, it's fine. I think it's fine. I don't have any.
Pressing
But
questions.
I don't have any
Huh.
body hair. People think I shave my armpits. No, it just never grew ever. So I don't have a lot of body hair. And I feel like it nowadays people want me to have body hair. Like I've been told, like, why do you shave? And I'm like, I don't shave.
Yeah, this is me.
I don't grow it. Yeah, this is me. But I think it's great. I love body hair on a man. It's very nice. Even if it's like his ass crack, it's cool. Eating ass gets stuck in your teeth sometimes, but that's okay. You just pull it out, brush your teeth. It's fine. Floss. Like, you should be flossing anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. Love it. What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah, I like body hair. I like somebody who has like a 70s bush. Like I can be into that.
Okay.
Like
yeah.
furry. Big. Yeah, just thick, robust. I can be into
dome.
It. But also like on the flip side, like I love like a smooth twink too, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
yeah.
I can
Both are
I fuck
acceptable.
with, like, yeah, I fuck with, it's like, yeah, just like come as you are.
Come as you are.
I feel like sometimes it's a little weird though. I feel like sometimes if somebody's like clean shaven, like around like their dick, sometimes I'm like, this feels like, I'm like, I want like a little something, you know?
Now that poses a problem, right? If we're having scruff, right? Or like your stubble, like heavier stubble, then it just makes things sometimes more uncomfortable. There's workarounds for that. But I do agree. I used to literally, this guy I used to make out with had
just make
stubble.
out. He was just a make out partner.
Yep.
Okay.
I have some of those. I love that.
Love.
Yep. Sometimes that's all I need. And we would make out a lot. And he just had this really heavy stubble. And I would feel like I was getting my skin exfoliated every time I went to his house. Like it was a full sugar scrub every time. And to the point where I couldn't do it anymore because I noticed like he was not going to stop doing this. And I was going to ask him to change his whole life and not shave anymore so I can kiss him,
right,
every 6 months. So I just stopped.
Yeah. I feel like it's kind of bold too if you like try to tell somebody like how they need to be.
Yeah,
like, I don't like
wild.
that. Like you need to like change like your vibe. It's just like whatever. Like this is you. Fuck it.
Yeah. Although I have another sex friend who I have threesomes with sometimes, and I was with him, and he's really into nipples, and we were with this other guy that wanted his nipples, that liked his nipples to be sucked, but he had a lot of hair around his nipple, and my friend was so adamant about getting to his nipple. He was like, "Can I shave your chest?" And the guy's like, "What?" He's like, "Can I shave it? Have you ever had your chest shaved?" He's like, "No." He's like, "Can I shave it?" The guy said, "Okay." And he sat there and shaved that man's chest, cleaned him up nicely, and then attacked that nipple. Yeah. And I was like, wow, that sometimes maybe you just ask. I don't know. It worked.
Somebody asks, any crazy hookup stories? Anything that come to mind?
Crazy. Not really. I guess you know what. One of my most fond memories is being with my partner at Latino Oasis 2 years ago, having a great time with him there, and then going to we went to White Party, which was happening at the same time. It's all in Palm Springs, and then a friend inviting us back to like a kiki, like a basically a sex party, like a private sex party. Getting to that party and seeing and just realizing that I was like in a room of some of my favorite content creators, and like looking around, being like, what? You're here?
You're like, I'm in the porn shoot right
now. I
now.
couldn't believe. I said, how did I get here? Like, how did I get here? This is phenomenal. I want to have sex with everybody, and I did, and it was great.
Yeah,
it was great.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, the gates of heaven opened up.
They did. Oh, I was so happy. I can still jerk off to those memories. It's great.
Crazy hookup story for me. The thing that comes to my mind when I saw this question come in was one time I hooked up with somebody, and before, like, I was fucking him, and he was like, so I don't want you, like, when you're getting ready to come, wait. And I was like, okay. So then I was getting to that point, you know, the build up. Okay, like what's good? What's C? And so he got up and like went to his kitchen, into his freezer, and brought back a jar of frozen cum. And this jar, for people who are listening to this, you're missing the visual. This jar was probably like this big, and it was probably this much filled. It's like probably about maybe a little bit more than halfway filled. And so, yeah, I was just like, and he was like, I want you to come in here, because he's like, when this is full all the way to the top, he was like, I'm going to thaw it out and I'm going to put it all inside of me. And I was shocked.
I love him.
Do you like cum?
No, I don't.
Like that?
No, I actually hate cum. I'm not a fluid person, but I love it for him because that's so freaky. Like, that is so niche. Like, who taught him that? You know what I'm saying? Like, shit like that people come up with themselves. It comes out of their bodies naturally. Like, that's so creative.
Yeah.
I love that. That's hot. I love that.
Yeah, I mean, I did it, and I hope that he this was a long time ago, so I know that he's probably filled up a couple, 2-3 jars.
Yeah, he got the jars going.
But I'm just like, that a jar that big, like, insane, crazy. I shouldn't say crazy. I shouldn't put like a negative connotation to it. For me, it's wild.
Yeah, it's quite wild.
Especially too. And like, I get like if it's frozen, because then it's like, okay, like at least maybe it's not like just dead, right? But also it is, right? Like, I don't know. The thought of old cum like grosses me out.
I guess he could, like, if someone had a uterus, could they get pregnant from that cum? Probably they could, right? If they froze it, isn't that cryogenics? Isn't that what people do?
Yeah. That's
so cool.
Yeah. Maybe I have a baby out here. Maybe he took it all to the sperm.
Maybe y'all all got
Maybe
kids.
he took it all to the sperm bank.
You might have a baby.
And he like maybe he made a bunch of money off of it, because he's like, I have 27 days worth of cum for you. That's probably even more. A whole year.
That's a genius movie. That's a great movie. Like, someone that needs money.
Like a porn movie?
No, a real movie that would get an Oscar. I love that.
Did you ever hear about the story about that man? So there was I saw a documentary one time about this lady who, I don't know if it was like the dentist, or it was like some kind of medical professional who had like 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 kids, because he was like fucking people or like doing something. Did you ever hear about this story?
I believe it was, I think it's the father something, because he's like the father of like 1,000 kids, something like that. Like he was artificially inseminating all of these women. With, I think, sperm that
with his own
sperm, but they were supposed to be getting it from someone else. But he was with his own. Yeah, it's a Netflix documentary. Yeah. That's
crazy,
wild.
Insane work.
So I just want to take you back a little bit, because I thought when you said the frozen cum thing, I recently learned that, I don't know if people do this or it's a thing or it's just a fantasy, but people have taken cum and frozen it into the shape of a dildo, and then they will try to fuck themselves with the frozen dildo made of cum. However, when I think about that, I'm like, wouldn't you die? Like, that's too cold. You would die, right? I think you'd die.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah. But like, don't women be like freezing their little glass dildos and like sticking it up in them?
I don't know.
Like, maybe on a hot day it's nice.
Oh, that sounds so cold. Like, that sounds so uncomfortable.
Maybe on a hot day.
On a hot day.
You know how like sometimes it's like so hot that like you can't even go to sleep?
Yes.
Like, maybe if you go get your ice dildo out of the freezer, maybe that's how you can get it.
My phantom vagina is screaming. Like, oh.
Yeah. Well, I mean, humans, insane, like truly, like will just like stick anything up inside of themselves. Like that fucking man back in the day, that viral video, or like that man who stuck the jar up inside of himself and it broke.
Can I tell you something?
Like,
can I tell you something?
Yes. That's what we're here for.
That man.
Tell me everything.
That man was me. No, I'm kidding. That wasn't me. But
no,
that video was staged.
Was it?
Yes. Came out years later that video was staged. I remember watching that video circa 2006, 2007. And just like that, that might have actually changed my life. Seeing this man, for those that don't know, he put a small applesauce jar up his ass, right? And we watching him put this jar up his ass. Then he starts pulling it out. But what happens? It breaks. It breaks in his ass. Trigger warning. Blood is gushing from this man's ass, right? Pieces of glass are falling out this man's ass. And we're all just watching it, right? Apparently it wasn't real.
So like, how do you stage that though? Do you have like the blood packs that they use in movies, like when people get stabbed? That like,
I don't
you know
know.
what I
I
mean?
don't know.
I bet sometime in history, like for the human out of all of human history, somebody's definitely stuck something glass up inside of them, and it's definitely broken.
Absolutely. I'm not denying that people don't do that. Someone probably has a glass up their ass right now. But
Right now,
well, a glass jar
while they're
listening, as they should. I actually
Yeah.
recommend, if you are looking for a dildo or a dilator, an anal dilator, I recommend getting a glass one. I have a glass one, and it's truly changed my life. It is the best thing to stick up your ass. Very sturdy, does not break.
Well, this is a great segue to this next question. Somebody says, so I'm a bottom who has absolutely no interest in topping. My problem is that I'm extremely tight, and so bottoming always is an uncomfortable and painful experience for me. I've tried using toys to loosen my hole, but maybe I'm just meant to be tight? Question mark. I don't know. This shit sucks though.
Yeah, I feel you. Me too. I feel you.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm
So tight.
so tight, like tight.
Grip.
Yeah, I
Grip.
think if you want to be serious about bottoming, you actually have to be serious about bottoming, just like you'd be serious about anything else. People train for the Olympics, people train for the SATs, but people don't really train to bottom, which they actually should do if they want to be good at it. So if you want to loosen up, you have to, I would suggest getting a few things. You're going to want to get your dilator, which is going to be, do I have one? Hold on. Can I show a dilator?
Yeah.
Oh, I have one. This is not a good one. This is a bad one. This is a starter one, right? I'm like moving on. Guys.
Well, maybe that's what this person needs. They're so tight.
So basically, you get something like this. This is a latex one. You get something like this, and it comes in 4. So you'll have this one. You'll have one that's a little thicker, one thicker than that, and one thicker than that, right? You're gonna take these, and every night you're gonna put your 1 in. As soon as you don't feel pain anymore, you're gonna put your 2 in. When you stop feeling pain, you put your 3 in, and then eventually you get up to your 4. You're gonna hold it in your butthole for as long as you can, and that's the beauty of it. You can do this while you're doing laundry, while you're washing the dishes, while you're eating. Well, maybe not while you're eating, but other times when you're watching TV, just put it up there. And while it's up there, don't just leave it up there, but squeeze it. Squeeze it with your butthole. Do Kegels with it in. And that's going to train your butthole to get used to opening up, closing around it, and gripping that dick when it's in you, right? That's going to be a skill you can use later, right? So get it in there until it's comfortable. Take it out go to the next level and squeeze as much as you can. I truly believe if you do this for 30 days, you'll be able to take dick easy. But you got to commit. This is a commitment. It's like training for the gym. You can't build the muscle if you don't hit the gym. This is your gym. You want to bottom? Train, baby. Got to train.
Yeah. So would you suggest that this person, when they're doing this every night, do they need to clean out before they use it?
So honestly, because
or they just stick it up
this
in
might
there?
sound nasty, but if it's just you ain't got to clean out all the way. It's just you, girl. Like it's fine.
Just wash it. Just wash it
off
when you pull it back out.
Because honestly, that is going to be, cleaning out is daunting, right? Cleaning out is daunting.
Yeah.
When bottoms want to bottom, the thing that stops them is preparing to bottom, right? So if it's just you, like maybe squirt a little water up there, shoot it out, but like don't sit there for an hour to be practicing every night. That's going to be wild. Find a simple system that leaves you with minimal residue. Use a lot of towels, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, things like that, because I don't want you to not want to do the process because it takes too long or it's too messy.
Yeah. I found I'm not paid, so we're not giving any shout outs here. But I found a nice pH balanced solution that I use.
Okay.
And it's lovely.
Okay.
It's lovely. Cause like I feel like what are like the regular ones, like the Fleets?
Yeah, with the saline solution.
And it just it doesn't feel good. I don't like those. And I feel like using water, I mean, you would know more than I do. You're the expert here.
Yeah.
But I feel like using water, in my mind, I'm like, this tap water that's coming up out of this shower, like, I don't feel like that's what I want in my body.
Yeah, I think so. I actually was doing it wrong for a while. I was using tap water. I was dumping that saline solution out of the fleet and using tap water. And the reason is because back in my day, before even like Fleet was a big thing, guys would douche with Summer's Eve. Do you know Summer's Eve?
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy for vaginas.
But honestly, not even good for vaginas. Like some like shit like that is not good, right? So the recommendation was always dump out the solution and then fill it with water, right? That was always the recommendation. So then when Fleet started coming around, we dumped it out and we filled it with water, not knowing that Fleet is a different solution. It doesn't have perfume in it. It doesn't have weird ass scents and color. It has saline, which is good for you. So it's actually recommended that you use that the saline solution. But like you said, if you find some other solution that works for you, then use that. I think using anything that has scents, perfumes, oil, stuff like that, stay away from. But yeah, verify your stuff and use what works.
Yeah, the saline solution, I feel like every time I've used it, I'm like, why does my booty hole feel like it's like just like it just wants to be like open? Like whatever is in the fucking saline solution, I'm like, it makes me feel like I just have to keep like going. Do you know what I mean? Okay. And I'm like, I don't like that. Like I want to like get it up in there, get it out, make sure everything's nice and ready to go, and then feel like it's just, you know, locked up and ready for, you know, somebody to deep dive. Yeah. Like I don't want to feel like it's just like the flower is just fully blossomed and ready to keep pushing out, you know?
Yeah, it sounds like it.
I want to feel like a lady.
It feels slippery, like. Yeah, like I said, do what works for you. I can only recommend stuff. We're learning new things every day, so if that works for you, then it works for you. Is, you know, whatever works.
That's right. That's right. Do you have time for a couple more questions?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, somebody asks, do you have any physical fears like spiders, sharks, falling, etc.?
Yes, all of those.
For real?
Yeah,
all of the above.
I'm terrified of bugs. Although I'm getting a lot better because any bug.
Any bug?
I mean, the bigger the worse. If it's flying, forget about it. All flying bugs, death to all of them. It's terrible. Mosquitoes.
What about like a butterfly?
Disgusting.
Like something pretty?
Disgusting. It's not pretty.
Oh, for real?
I think butterflies are just moths wearing Versace. They are just pretending they're just wearing nice clothes, but at the end of the day, they're disgusting bugs. But I'm getting better at it because I watch bug videos. I force myself to watch bug videos on Instagram. So I'll like watch them and I'll be terrified, but I'm like, you know what? That's not so bad. So the other day I saw a centipede. I was in Florida. It was this big ass centipede and I touched it and I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, that's okay. All right. So I'm getting better.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I don't fuck with spiders, but I don't know. I feel like I'm not like, if there's like a spider in my house, like I can get it out. Like I'm not, but I just don't want them around me, you know? Like I don't want it to be like walking on me, really. Like I've held a tarantula before and like it was fine. Yeah. But like also it's just like I don't need that in my life.
Yeah, I feel like they have a place and it's not near me. Yeah, I'm not. I'm less afraid of spiders than other insects for some reason. I don't know why, but yeah, bugs just have a place and it's outside, and yeah, not a fan.
Yeah, yeah. All right, our last question says, I'm curious to try dating outside of my race, but am nervous about meshing cultures. Picturing my black ass going to a Jonathan's family gathering always makes me feel like it's going to be awkward or something.
Okay,
that's why.
Yeah, I mean, no shade. It might be. It just comes with it, right? It comes with it. I think two things. I think we have to be open to dating outside of our race. I think we have to be open to it. At the same time, we don't have to make it a thing, right? So like, yes, date outside your race, but don't be like, I'm dating outside of my race now. It's like, you don't have to make an announcement about it. You don't have to make it a thing, because then I think that becomes a little weird too. I think find love where you find love, and know that when you do cross races, when you cross ethnicities, when you cross languages, when you cross countries, you're going to be different for the people that you're from, the place that you're entering. And it may be a little awkward. But I think it's 2025. I think a lot of people are a lot more open to this than they have been in the past, hopefully. And I don't see it going bad for you. I think, yeah, open yourself up and see what those possibilities are like. You can't knock it till you try it.
Yeah. I mean, so like for me, like I've dated the whole spectrum more or less. And, you know, there's just like, I feel like my body is an equal opportunities employer, do you know? So it's like I like a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Currently, the relationship that I'm in, which is very beautiful and loving and amazing, is with a white man. It definitely was not what I pictured for myself at this period of my life, because I have some hangups surrounding white men specifically. Just because the world is built for white men, and the older that I've gotten, the more I'm like, I don't want to give these motherfuckers anything.
Yeah,
you know,
it feels that way. Yeah,
anything. And so, but then I met this person, and then we fell in love. You know, and that's how it came to me, right? Like, you can't really control, you know, when a good opportunity comes to you, and like when God or the universe or whatever presents something to you. If you turn it away and like it's clearly a good thing, you know, you're blocking your blessings.
It ain't coming back.
So yeah. Exactly. And so with all of that being said, I would say, you know, explore, try it out, see, you know, and like also realize that like you are going to have a very different experience from people of different, like just your lived experience is going to be very different, but it's like maybe you can help them in some ways, maybe they can help you in some ways, like reach across the table, you know, and like I don't know, just be like open, like just experiment. Like also like if you try it and like it's not for you, then fuck it, like go back to whatever you used to, you know, like, but at least you could say that you tried. But yeah, I don't know, I mean, just live your life, like whatever feels good, you know.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree with that. Gotta try, gotta test those waters at least once. Just see. You never know.
Yeah. All right, well, with all of that being said, this has been another exhilarating segment of X Marks the Spot. Again, the number for that is 415-448-6630. If you would like to call and leave us a voicemail to be played on air, or send us a message to have it read, ask us a question, ask for advice, tell us a story, whatever it may be. Thank you for being here with us, David Brandyn.
Thank you, Marcus X. I had a phenomenal time. You're an amazing interviewer, musician, and content creator, and I look forward to more of your stuff and seeing the episode.
Thank you. Before I let you go, what can you plug for us besides using that? What was the thing called? What's it called?
Oh, a dilator?
A dilator. Yeah. Before, what else do you have to plug for us?
Just, you know, follow me at David Brandyn, please. Look out for that YouTube channel. It's already up on youtube.com/David Brandyn, all with a Y. I will be, I'm promoting for two big parties right now, Latino Oasis, which is in May, and then Frolic Weekend, which is in July. So just check those out through my page, get tickets, and come celebrate with me. We'll be out there having fun, being freaky, and doing all the things.
Hell yeah. I'm scared to go to Latino
Why?
Oasis. I'm scared of events like that are like, if it's too big and I'm about to start running into people, like I like to be like elusive. Do you know what I mean?
Understood.
I like to be like seen online, or like, and then have it be like, nobody knows where I am. Like even people in the city that I live in San Francisco currently. And like, even people here will be like, how long have you lived here for? Like, I've never seen you before. And I'm like, I just like to be like elusive, you know, like a mystical creature off in the distance.
I so get that. And I want to be that way too. But guess what? People like us can't be.
Those checks are clearing.
Yeah.
Those checks are clearing for the promotion.
We can't, Marcus. They want to see us. The people want to see you. And they want to give you money for it.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, come outside.
Right, but that's why I'm doing this.
Yes.
That's why I'm doing this.
Baby steps. We're going to get you to one of those weekends very soon. Baby steps.
My goodness. All right, well, if you'd like to follow the show on Instagram, that is at xtalkofficial, and if you want to follow me personally, that's at Markus, Markus X official. Yeah, thank you so much for being here. This was so cute.
I loved it. Thank you so much.
And with that, we're gonna play the theme song one more time.